Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's tutorial, the tools we'll be needing include scissors, marker, tape, ruler, pattern master, hip curve, or any of your French curve. So this is my pattern paper, this is the front and this is the back. I altered the back to be able to differentiate the front from the back. You know the fabric used are of two different types, so make sure that your fabric is on fold. Make sure your fabric is on fold. So the first thing I will do is to get my shoulder line and shoulder slope. In my previous video I've explained how to get that. Then I'll go ahead to get my horizontal measurements. From my shoulder to my upper bust, it's 7 inches. So I'm going to note it down. And then use a ruler to connect. From my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. I also use my ruler to connect. Make sure you get a straight line, it's very important. From my shoulder to my waist it's 17 inches. I also use a ruler to connect it, to connect the line. Then from my shoulder to my hips is 27 inches. I also connect. So I'll go ahead to label them so that you understand better. So I have my shoulder slope, chest line, bust line, waist line and hip line. So I'll go ahead to get my other measurement. The bust I'm using is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I added ½ inch seam allowance, which is now 9.5. I note it down on my upper chest and on my bust line. That's my chest line and my bust line. The waist I'm using is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So I note it down. Then for the hip I'm using is 40. 40 divided by 4 is 10. I also note it down. So that's that. Then I went ahead to use my hip curve to connect. You can actually use your ruler to connect, but make sure that after using your ruler you know smoothing out the straight lines. So the line is where you will sew. Then for the down parts, my paper was not enough, so I will assume the edge of the pattern master is my nail. So whatever I get on my hip line, I am going to minus 1. So my hip line, what I have on my hip line is 10 inches. That's 40 divided by 4, 10. So on my nail I'm going to minus 1, which is 9. So I note it down and also use my hip curve to connect it. Note whatever you have on your hip line, you minus 1. That's what you have on your nail. That's shoulder to nail. So that's that. Then I'll go ahead to get my neck. It depends on the neck you want to use, but for this tutorial I'm using 5x4. That's the wideness of the neck is 5 and the depth is 4 inches. So I went ahead and connect. You can actually use same neck, that's the neck for both the front and the neck, the front and the back. So this line is where you will sew. This line is where you will sew. This line is where you will sew. Then I'll go ahead and cut. But if you want to have a different neck, that's the depth of the back, if you want it to be different from the front, you can also alter it. So I decided to use 5x4. That's the wideness will be 5 and the depth will be 3. Sorry, I decided to use 5x3. The wideness is 5 and the depth is 3. I noticed that when I was cutting, I didn't actually get my measurement straight because the depth of the wideness of both the front and the back is supposed to be the same. It's supposed to be the same. So I went ahead and correct the mistake. So the wideness of both the front and the back is 5 inches, while the depth of the front is 4 and the depth of the back is 3 inches. So I went ahead and cut. Note that if the back it's different, if the neck is different, you cut the one that is on the outer part first. So I went ahead to trim. I went ahead to cut. So this is how it looks. So for the length, it depends on how you want it. It's just for you to make the front shorter than the back. But make sure that you sew on this line. This is the line you will sew on. Then you can decide to cut the front to make it shorter than the back.